I'm going to try and be as serious and sincere as I can right now. Might be quite difficult because I'm quite a jovial character normally. But I'm all for sincerity, and I really think I should share with you what was really close to my heart only a matter of a week ago on New Year's Eve. I was in Bali, Gili Islands, a place called Gili Air. Really beautiful place and amazing party, and everything seemed well. But amongst a lot of other things I could say about that experience, I met a guy who I became great friends with, and we talked about all sorts of things, spirituality, a lot of what's happening with the planet, with people, society, the environment, a lot of things that are really close to our heart, and a lot of things that are close to everyone else's heart that we all like to talk about. But yeah, there's so many problems in this earth right now, and I just had a real horrible realisation on New Year's Eve that we've gone past the point of no return on so many different levels. Society is all driven by greed and fear and total disconnection with ourselves and with something, a real truth in our life. All the things that motivate us to want to do well in life stem from fear and greed and insecurities about ourselves, because we want to be seen to be doing great and doing better than the other person next to us, really. And in that thought train, if you're going to try and do better than the person next to you, you're just immediately going to create separation. And separation is always going to create different groups, different levels of social acceptance, different levels of wealth. And this separation is always going to cause conflict, because you're always going to have judgment that this group is better, this group is not as good, etc., etc. So on the social aspect of things, it's not looking good. And then we look to the environment, and right now, on the face of it, it doesn't look too bad. The weather's still pretty good most of the earth. We've still got oxygen to breathe. Nothing appears to be too wrong. Sometimes we have a hot summer, really hot summer, a really mild winter. So the signs are there that there could be this possible global warming, but at the same time, we can also put that down to this has just always happened in the history of Earth, and it's just going through another cycle like it has done for hundreds of millions of years, and that is still a possibility. But the reality is very different, because if we actually look at what's happening, what we're doing to the Earth, then it's pretty fucked up situation, to be honest with you. The rate in which we're just stripping the resources of this planet in terms of oil and raw materials that we want, and plastics and everything, coal as well. And we look at that, why the fuck are we still doing that? I'll tell you why we're still doing that. It's because the powers at be which is all the corporations which control all the governments across the world, is an elite club. And this elite club do not give a flying shit about anybody else but themselves. And within that club, they have complete control over everybody and everything that happens. And they have all the cards to everything. And they also have the cards to be able to live a sustainable way of living. They have all the technologies for hydrogen, renewable resources, solar, electricity, which, for an example, in California, you're not allowed to have solar panels. It's illegal to have solar panels. What the fuck is that about? If you actually had care for this planet, then you would say to people, I will pay you to put solar panels on your property so we can use less energy. But of course that's not going to happen, because if the corporations do that, then where is the profit for their big empire, their big club? There is no profit. So again, this stems down to absolute greed. And this greed is completely destroying the planet. There are so many processes happening right now as we speak that are already out of control. You look at the Arctic is receding at such a rate that is only accelerating, and the more it accelerates, the more it accelerates further. For an example, the smaller the surface areas of the ice on the Arctic, the less sunlight it reflects back into the space, and therefore the more energy that gets absorbed by the oceans with the sunlight increases the heating, increases the global warming. Global warming is at such an extent right now that in Siberia, which has vast expanses of permafrost, are actually starting to melt. And what does the permafrost consist of? Well, it consists of methane gas, which is 7 times more potent than carbon dioxide. And right now, this gas is leaking into the atmosphere. It's pissing out every single second that we speak. Fucking pissing out. You can like it, you can cut a hole in the ice of any lake in Siberia and light that shit, and it's going to blow like a Bunsen burner. That's 7 times more potent carbon dioxide. That is accelerating the process even further. And you look at the Amazon is retreating more and more and more. Yes, some is it for deforestation, but also some of it is due to the actual increase in temperature, so it's starting to recede. It's not able to reproduce like it is. So, in terms of the global warming, these are the processes that are happening right now. Then we can look at the ocean. What is happening with the ocean right now? Well, there's 2 processes that are happening right now that are really, really scary. One process is that the oxygen in the ocean is not being able to be recycled like it normally is. There was this vast expanse of ocean in the northern Pacific, and all the wildlife died, and all the scientists were like, what the hell is going on here? Never seen this before. So they went there to do tests, and then they could see that all the animals that died, all the fish that died, were being starved of oxygen. And they were like, what the fuck is happening here? Starved of oxygen, how is that possible? So they did further tests, and what did they discover? Well, they discovered that the ocean had a film of fresh water on the surface, and with this fresh water, which is from the Arctic, from all the icebergs melting during the summer months, the oxygen is not able to put the ocean is not able to put the oxygen in the water, so it's starving the water of oxygen. Well, this process is getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year that we speak. As the earth warms more, there's more meltwater during the summer months, and the area that the ocean is getting starved of oxygen is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, so it's spreading like a disease all over the ocean. And with no oxygen in the ocean, everything dies. It can't live. There's no fish, there's no whales, no dolphins, and no plankton, which is the base of the food chain. And if that collapses, then nothing eats, nothing gets fed, and then there's nothing in the ocean. Whether you care about eating a fish for breakfast, or whether you actually want to do some diving and see these beautiful fish that still exist, that's pretty fucked. And the other process that's happening is all the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is absorbing into the ocean. At first, the scientists said this is good, because 1/3 of all the carbon dioxide that's being produced is just being absorbed into the ocean, so that's great, it's taking 1/3 of the problem away. Initially, that's what it appeared to be. But then they started realizing, oh, what the hell is happening with the ocean? Some of the coral reefs are slowing down in reproducing more coral to such an extent that they actually even stopped growing. So again, the scientists went there and did their studies, and what did they find? They found that the water is turning acidic. So they were like, why the hell is this water turning acidic? More tests revealed that it's the carbon dioxide that we're producing that is being absorbed by the oceans, which is sending the oceans more acidic. Hold on.